Well, good day to everybody, and this is Ray Halbrook from Livestream STL. Welcome to Main Street Sports Standout Show, our baseball standouts here. Ray Halbrook, thanks so much for being with everybody here today. We are here with an amazing group of guys that has been able to help us cover this week and the last couple of months here of we just finished up high school baseball, but we have the standout show here, and we are going to just give props to those guys that have had an amazing season this year, and all the way to my right on the end there, Brian Kaplinger. B-Cap, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, and any day you get to talk about baseball is a good day in my book.
Coach Woody, how are you, sir?
Hello, kids.
He says hello, kids.
Doing just fine.
Absolutely. And I also have Jeff Whitener, who's a little under the weather, but he's at home. Jeffrey, how are you doing, my friend?
I am fine. I am quarantined here in my home office, but ready to roll, ready to talk about some amazing baseball players that we saw this spring.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we'll go ahead and get it started, and hopefully I can keep up with you as far as the standouts go. I'm going to do my very best. So here we go.
Well, guys, you know what we do. Our list of standouts and players that we want to shine a light on are different than the way the normal JCAA all conference, all district, all state players are. This is based on what we've seen, the coaches we've talked to, the film that we've studied, and we pick 10 players on the first team, regardless of position or year. 10 players on the second team, same criteria. So we've got 20 guys total. Is this list perfect? No list is perfect. Do we have biases based on who we've seen? Yes. And if there's some schools that are not good about recording stats, some of the schools down in Perry County, it's hard for us to shine a light on those guys. So, there's probably some good players that didn't make the list. But anyway, here we go with our second team selections. And we want to start it off in alphabetical order by teams, guys. And our first selection is from DeSoto. That's Connor Heister, the junior. And one of the better all-around players in the area. A young player that is helping not only his high school program currently, but also helping out the DeSoto SMCI Legion team. We'll get to see quite a bit of him more this summer. But Cap, I don't know if you got to see Connor play at all this season. I think Ray did a little bit, but what are your thoughts on Connor?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see him this year, but was able to kind of see him before, play a little bit, and gone back and watched some video of this young man. And I think you kind of said it best right from the beginning, really kind of that two-star athlete right there, able to come on the mound, but then also can be a threat with his bat. I mean, close to the team lead in RBIs with 19 on the season, at least through the scoring that we have. And I think when you have a player like that can just facilitate both the mound and when you go and look at his stats from the mound, there's not anything like that stands out tremendously other than the fact that he's consistent. He gets out there, he throws strikes, and he's going to compete at a high level anytime he's on the field, whether that is in the batter's box or on the mound. And for me, I think, again, one of the biggest things is you see quality of character. He's one of those that can really help lead other players on his team. He's not always super outspoken, but the effort and the work that he puts in has always impressed me.
Yeah, and the one thing that stands out for me, too, with his pitching, even though his walk to strikeout ratio was a little high, 2/3, 33 strikeouts, 23 walks, his whip, his walks and hits per innings pitch was .99, and that's anytime you're under one, that's some pretty impressive pitching.
Absolutely.
Our second guy on the list that made the team here, second team, from Festus, we have the junior Braden Beers. Braden Beers, another part of a very important, very impressive Festus team this season, what they were able to do with some of the challenges they had along the way. He hit 274, but on base percentage of 324, slugging percentage of 400. And Brian, you just got to see Braden play a little bit here over this last weekend. You want to talk about him a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, for him, again, the average isn't high, but he recognized what his role on the team was, and that was simply to drive in runs. I mean, you talk about someone who had 27 hits in the course of the season. A number of those were extra base hits as well, and he really did damage when players were on base. And when you talk to a coach, that's what really stands out. It's not so much, getting the hits. I mean, you love the guys that get on base at a high clip, which he does at 324, but for me it was the fact that there's a little bit of that clutch gene in Braden Beers and being able to come up big in moments for this Festus program all year. And they didn't have quite the big year that they wanted when they started, but these guys came together, and I think part of it was because of what Beers was able to do with the bat in his hand and get them to that state quarterfinal game.
Coach Woody, you got some things you wanted to say?
For me with Braden, it was almost like every time they needed a big hit, that kid was involved in the middle of it.
Right.
That's what caught my eye. And then a couple times, watching him play a little defense, there was times he would cut across the infield to cut a ball off, headed for the shortstop, make a dandy throw across to either end an inning or squash a rally. So that's what got it for me with Braden.
Yeah, it's that clutch gene that Brian talked about there. It's one of these things that the baseball gods just put guys in certain situations and they are able to come through. And it's a part of the beauty of the game, and he fit that bill for sure, guys. All right, next on our list, we head over to Herculaneum, our first Black Cat of the evening, and that is the big first baseman, Jackson LaPlante, the junior. Jackson slash 373, 449, and 941 slugging this year. And for a first baseman and dealing with the field that he deals with on dirt infield, 964 fielding percentage. Pretty good, guys.
For me, this kid was a junior.
Yeah.
You do not think, in most cases, unless you're like a 5-star player, that a junior is going to be able to do the things that he did. And at times, he stuck out like a sore thumb at the plate and in the field.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the aspect. I mean, you can look at his stat line hitting wise, it was tremendous. But I think, Jeff, you hit on it best. Just his ability to play defense. And even on, a dirt field, we're starting to see a lot of high schools go to the all turf, or if nothing else, just the turf infields, which give you those true hops, those true bounces, kind of easy grounders. Not that they're ever really easy, right, Coach? But they're there. But to be able to play on actual dirt where there is some instability sometimes, if they cut the grass a little wrong, you can get those funky hops. But to be able to be solid over at first base and pick the balls when needed, as well as just kind of being that safety blanket for the rest of the infield, stepped up to me. I mean, he wasn't a slouch at the plate, but I was so impressed with the defensive side and being able to just control the infield at first base, and that's always going to make a team better.
Not to mention the fact that he's a nice big target over there at first. And that's like
Sure.
Coach's dream. All right, we're going to stick with the Black Cats next up, and we have, gentlemen, our first freshman to talk about for the evening, and that is Eli Streamy. As a freshman, hitting 380 with a 973 slugging percentage. Not only that, he led the Black Cats with 15 stolen bases, and he had a 972 fielding percentage. Guys, talk a little bit about Eli.
Going back again, you got a youngster here. You would think as a freshman, is he going to be overmatched coming into a program? You don't play against cupcakes all the time. No matter what league or what level you play at, there's going to be some lightweights. But for him to do what he did consistently over a year was amazing for being such a youngster
Yeah,
at a varsity level sport.
I agree. I agree completely with that. The being just this young and still have that IQ, I think, as well. I mean, you've got another 3 years of a kid like this, and all you can do at this point is just continue to watch him grow. He could be, to me, another Tanner Duncan in a situation where, I mean, he can do just about anything. And he's hitting the ball pretty well too. So, and I know Dad over there too. He probably likes being able to see all these props too. So shout out to Daddy over there. But kudos to you, Mr. Strini.
You know, you would hope a guy like this, as he progresses with age and class, that he doesn't flame out.
Right.
How many times have you seen a kid come in? Boy, he sets the place on fire right off the get-go. And then all of a sudden, year by year, he doesn't keep progressing. You want to keep doing that. And if he does, what's he going to be like as a senior?
Yeah, I mean, and you even look at just the small sample size from the pitching aspect for him. He didn't really start. I think he started one game, but kind of came in, had 10 innings on the season, only gave up one earned run. I mean, so there's some opportunity there. You see that obviously in high school ball quite a bit, where you have a pitcher and a positional player. And I think what jumps out to the page on me is the 494 on base. I mean, when you talk about being on base half the time you come up to the plate, that is elite at any level. I don't care if you're a freshman, senior, whatever the case is. And so I'm kind of with you, Coach. I want him to get into the gym a little bit, get into some more practice, more playing time in the off season, and maintain this, because I think the sky's the limit for this young man. If he can continue at this pace, we're definitely going to see him at the next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeffrey, we got to get rolling here. Let's get some more going.
Let's stick with underclassmen here, who's the sky's the limit for, guys. And next we're going to head over to Hillsboro and talk about Mad Max Partney, the Mad Bomber. The young man tied for second in the entire metro area and led Jefferson County with 8 home runs on the season. We were fortunate enough to see a few of those this year. Led the entire metro area region in stolen bases as well with 40. Among the metro area leaders in slugging percentage with 740, and had a 352 average on the season to lead all Hawks starters. Guys, what do you think about the upside for Mr. Max Partney?
I got one thing to say about Max. Strong. That's it.
That's all you're going with. I'm just leaving it there.
You got the easy ones out of the way. How about that, eh? You know?
I mean, we did get to see Ray, both you and I.
Yep.
Jeff, you were with us. We got to see that 2 home run game that he put on there at Windsor. And I mean, it was a great display. And I think what stood out to me, one, is that, I don't throw this around lightly, but this is an opportunity. You talk about a 5-tool player. Right. He has the total package. He can really hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's a gap guy. He can get on base when you need him to. His defense is solid. And then, Jeff, you had already mentioned the speed that he displays. And then you just add to it as a quality character young man. I mean, with the opportunity to interview him and talk with him a little bit, you can see that, he really loves the game, but more importantly, he loves being around his teammates, and he's just going to lift that team as a sophomore as he continues to play.
There you go, guys. Very high praise there from the captain. We're going to stick with the Hillsboro Hawks here. We're going to move over to a senior this time. One of my favorite players to watch this year and the last few, Aiden Rowland, the senior. The guy, in my opinion, who played center field like a football player, has that football player mentality.
See it in his face right there? Come on now.
That's right. Plays center. To me, he played center field like a fullback. He's strong and athletic, among the metro area leaders in 3 home runs. Hit 333, 485 on-base percentage, 603 sluggage percentage for the season, and a 960 fielding percentage in center field on grass. Aiden will be playing baseball next year for Mineral Area College, who's just coming off a great run in the postseason. Fellas, what do you think about Mr. Rowland?
His mental game is as good as his physical game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can add there. I mean, other than when you're a pitcher on the mound, you see this guy in center field behind you, you know that he's going to run through a center field fence if he has to go get a ball. And don't let his size be deceptive. He is extremely fast, and he's got a good, quick first step. And so just going to be fun to watch even at the next level. And Mineral Area got a gem of a player because he's going to work hard. And, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he just continues to become more electric even there under that leadership and guidance at Mineral Area.
Well, we're going to stick with the Hillsboro Hawks, fellas. Next up, we have another senior, Gunnar Sutton, the shortstop, the .961 fielding percentage at shortstop on dirt. That's no slouch either. As a pitcher, he was 3-0 as a reliever, 10 Ks, 4 walks, and a 2 even ERA, and a 1.50 walks and hits per innings pitched. Also, as a reliever, I thought a really interesting stat for Gunnar. He was able to come in, he stranded 14 runners on base in his limited appearances. So another great player, just like his older brother was, and be interesting to see what Gunnar does in the future if he's able to play at the next level.
I'll tell you something about Gunnar here real quick. The kid is just an athlete, straight up athlete. And it doesn't matter what he's playing. He's always playing at a million miles a second. And, you know, to see the 2.0 ERA there, I mean, that's just extremely, high level there. So, I mean, kudos to him. And, wish him the best moving forward here.
All right. Next up, we have moving back to the small schools over in Jefferson County and the Jefferson Blue Jays. We have the junior Bo Davis made the list. At the plate, he batted .352, 537 slugging percentage, 453 on base. That led the Blue Jays. He also led the Blue Jays in doubles and RBIs. He was a double machine every time I saw him. Great gap power, playing on a very large field at Jefferson.
Another one of those guys, when you start having an on base around 500, meaning you're on base half the time you're playing, holy moly.
Yeah, I'll throw out, just a fun comparison. I mean, to me, he seemed like the right-handed version of Matt Carpenter for the Cardinals when he got going. That gap power. I mean, Jeff, you alluded to it, the fact that, that is a big field out there at Jefferson. So sometimes, the power numbers don't always display accurately across the board there. But just the simple fact that you needed a big hit, this kid was going to provide it. And then beyond that, like I said, just knew how to get on base. And when Matt Carpenter was in his prime with the Cardinals, that's just what I saw from this guy, just from the right side of the plate.
All right, fellas, our last standout second team player is the junior from Windsor, Owen Hagley.
Nope, and I have Landon Weiss as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped right over Landon. One of my
How can you do that? One of your favorite players. Come on.
I know. Holy cow. Sorry about that, Landon. We'll fix that in editing. Not. Anyway.
Now we can't.
Landon, this is probably one of your last accolades in your career as a tremendous athlete, multi-sport athlete at Jefferson. Obviously, I'm very biased with this one, so have to talk about him a little bit. He is committed to playing baseball down in Springfield at Mission Baptist, and we're very familiar with the program down there, obviously. They had a .346 on the season, on-base percentage of .433, slugging .462, .977 fielding percentage, playing primarily on grass, center field. There was very few center fielders in the entire area better than Landon. One of the best bunters in the county, by the way. Landon could hit one in the gap, or he could lay one down on that grass field. Also, one of the fastest players that I saw all season. I don't think that's in dispute anywhere. Just an incredible all-around athlete, and on a personal standpoint, a wonderful young man. And I can't wait to see what he does at the next level, fellas.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I'll keep throwing out these comparisons because I just like to do it. And, maybe it puts a little pressure on these guys. I hope not. They just keep playing their game. But he reminds me of Tommy Edman. He really does. He can do a little bit of everything, and I believe you could put him just about anywhere on the field, and he's going to find a way to succeed, not only defensively, but from the offensive standpoint as well.
Now, last but not least, we have Owen Hagley, the junior at Windsor, guys. And I didn't get to see Windsor play as much as some of you guys did over the season. I know that Owen hit 306 on the season at a 405 on base percentage, 542 slugging. He was second on the Owls in RBIs on the team, and just a solid player that he's been in that Windsor starting lineup. It seems like all 3 years, fellas.
Seems like he is always on the field, always.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fun to watch. I mean, I've been able to see him not only in high school, but also playing a little bit of Legion ball and different, aspects. Obviously, seeing him in multi-sport dynamic as well. And again, this is just, sometimes it may seem like we say this often, but there's a reason why they make this list, and it's beyond just their athletic ability, just a quality young man that is going to support his team. He works hard and he doesn't take a play off. Sometimes you can look out on the field and just because the ball's not hitting your direction, hit towards you, you just kind of slouch and take a back seat to it. At least in my experience with Owen, he's always ready for the backups. He knows where his play is and his position is, even when he's not involved in the play directly.
Agree with you on that. But he's one of those players also that you can just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, just absolute athlete again. And, the games that we covered with and saw Owen, I mean, just great at bats, stout defense, and was able to, really kind of be one of those big leaders for the Owls here. So that wraps up our second team here. We will be back here in just a minute here with our first team. This is the Main Street Sports Standouts.
Hi, this is Bill Rubel with APB Storage. APB Storage is a locally owned and operated family business that offers the best storage solutions in the Jefferson County area. Our electronic gate gives you 24-hour access to your storage unit, and our state-of-the-art security system provides peace of mind and security. All of the units provide an easy access drive-up doors to allow a stress-free way to your unit. Come see why people prefer the APB storage experience. Give us a call at 636-464-5629 or visit us online at apbstorage.com.
Church is more than just an hour in a pew every Sunday. It's a community. It's where you can come as you are. It's a place where you can connect with God, learn from Scripture, and grow as you build relationships. It's a place where it's okay to be a work in progress. At Faith Community, you'll find an authentic group of people who are pursuing God and supporting one another along the way as we move from where we are to where God wants us to be. Wherever you're at on your journey, you are welcome here.
Welcome back to Main Street Sports Standouts here. We now are working on the first team standouts here, and I'm going to turn it back over here to Jeff. Jeff, you have the first recipient of the first team standouts, and I'll take it to you.
Well, as Randy Macho Man Savage used to say, this is the cream of the crop, fellas. The cream of the crop. And starting off things from Crystal City, we're very familiar with this young man, the senior Nolan Eisenbeiss. Nolan has committed to playing his baseball at Jefferson College. Gritty competitor, probably one of the best competitors in the county. Just overall, the way he approaches any sport, highly competitive person. Hit 317 on the season, 994 slugging percentage, and a 954 fielding percentage playing over in the park. And you guys know just as well as I do what it's like to try to field on that field over at Crystal City Park.
Woody can tell you all about it.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, getting back to Nolan, the thing about him, we get to see him 2 more years.
Yep.
That's what's cool about that guy and what he brings to the show. 2 more years with him.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see him over at Jefferson College again. Multi-sport athlete, but just we've said it. He's just really a competitor, and it shows on the field. And you just love watching this guy, whether it's in the field, behind the plate, at the plate. I mean, wherever you put him, he's going to find a way to succeed. Just because I think he's one of those guys that'll outwork the guy beside him, just because of the competition level that is just built within him.
Absolutely. I agree completely with that. The dude is just a grinder, and I'm sure that's why Zach Bone probably drove a little extra, oomph into Nolan as far as being able to get over there for the Vikings. So we're excited to see you next year here, Nolan. So can't wait, and we're ready to go. We're ready for baseball next year already.
Yeah, fellas, he's a guy kind of like Colby Ott was, where his work ethic and his skill sets are such that he's going to force you to make you play him someplace.
Absolutely.
All right, next up we have DeSoto Dragon, the junior Blake Coleman. Blake has committed to playing his baseball already as a junior for Southeast Missouri State, so they're going to get a good one there. Blake at the top of the order, hitting .351, on base percentage of .510. At the top of the order for DeSoto there. He's among the metro area leaders in triples with 4, so he's got some wheels. As a pitcher, he was 8th in the entire metro region in strikeout percentage with 14.12. 9th in the entire metro area in strikeouts with 76. Among the metro area leaders in strikeout to walk ratio was 6.33. 6th in the metro in whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, with 0.69, fellas.
Wow.
And had 3 complete games on the season. So Southeast Missouri State's going to get a good one here in a year.
What can't this kid do? And he's batting leadoff?
Right.
You kidding me?
Right.
I mean, that's the impressive part for me is again, you talk about someone who's leading in triples, over 500 on base, and then you're going to see him on the mound as well. I mean, I'm just excited that there's another year of high school for him to see what he can do. I mean, Jeff read off all the stats. There's not much more you need to say to know this is a baseball player.
And he's a lefty. Are you kidding me?
Right. Well, for me, the amount of time, we didn't get a ton of games with DeSoto, but the games that we did, man, quality games here. I know we had a couple of matchups there with Hillsborough. Only one happened there, but Blake was always involved in a ton of the action. So always fun seeing Blake do his thing. All
right, gentlemen, we're in some rarefied air here with some of these first teamers, and we're going to continue that trend. Now we're going to head over to Festus to talk about the senior Festus Tiger, Brady Nolan. One of the very best hitters in our entire area. Brady has committed to playing for one of the best JUCO programs in the entire area in the state in Crowder. He will be a Rough Rider next year, among the metro area leaders in batting average, and led Jefferson County with a .495 average. He was among the metro area leaders with 6 home runs. He was tied for second in the metro with 8 triples. He was among the metro area leaders in doubles with 12. He was among the metro area leaders in RBI with 29. Among the metro area leaders in runs scored with 37. He led the entire metro area region in stolen bases. He was 3rd in the metro in slugging percentage with 960. And among the metro area leaders in on-base percentage with 580. You got to see him play. I got to see him play. We've all got to see him play. Coach Woody, what do you think about Mr. Nolan?
The thing about him, he's batting leadoff for Festus. With his numbers and what he can do, he could bat 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 and give you a boatload at each one. Not to even mention his defense.
Right.
To watch him run like a gazelle across the gaps in the outfield, and to see what he did in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs as a leadoff hitter, not miss a beat, cause mayhem on the bases.
Right.
There was one instance in a game in I believe it was game 2. He was on second base. He's driving the pitcher crazy with his jockeying and jumping back and forth. And just when you think, oh, he's just jacking around back there, he steals third.
Right. Yeah. That's just
Brady Nolan, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Dude's an absolute stud. I'm sad that he's going to Crowder, but glad at the same time. Yeah, I gave him a hard time about it last week when we had our MVP, which we'll name a little bit later here. But he came with him because he was a teammate. But I asked him about the situation with Crowder. I said, why Crowder? And he said, it's the least amount of distractions. It's a situation where I want to be there strictly for baseball. And, you got to give it up to a guy like that knows what he wants. Because, kids at that age, some kids just, I'm just going to go willy nilly and just figure it out as I'm going. He's got a plan and he's going to work the plan. So
like Crowder, as we know,
Right.
like they need another great player.
right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, fellas, we're going to stick with Festus next. And this next gentleman is the reason I am wearing this hat tonight.
Oh.
He is the junior from Festus, and that's Jackson Smith. Jackson has committed as a junior to pitching for the University of Michigan Wolverines. Hail to the victors. He is among the metro area leaders in strikeouts with 63, among the metro area leaders in wins with 6, metro area leaders in shutouts with 2, among the metro area leaders in complete games with 4, and led all JCAA schools in innings pitched with 53. So not only was he an awesome pitcher, he was also a workhorse for the Tigers, along with his partner, which he'll talk about next. Gentlemen, Mr. Smith.
I got to interview him during what was it?
Yeah.
Friday night?
Yeah, Friday.
After the games for my podcast. That kid, I made it very well known. He's as good with a stick and in the outfield as he is on the mound. Talking to him about Michigan, they're not going to let him, go two ways. He's going to be a PO, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because what he brings to the dance from the bump, and it's a shame, I said this on the air, it's a shame in game 2 of the quarterfinals that one guy, either one of the pitchers, one of them had to lose.
Right.
I wish it would have been Jackson that won that, but that kid brings it.
Yeah, I mean, a special talent, there's no doubt. I mean, anytime you talk about a young man who's going to play at that level of collegiate, no matter, who the school is, says enough about just the quality of arm that they're getting, the work that they're getting. And I'm really, what excites me most is just being able to still kind of keep a tabs on him at a distance and watch what he gets to develop and really become. I didn't get to see him pitch this year, and that was a disappointment on my end. A couple of rainouts, I think that I was supposed to be at when he was going to throw. But you said it best, Coach. I mean, really, anywhere you put him, he is going to do the work that is necessary to help his team succeed in that day. And sometimes that's just being on the bench and cheering on his teammates. And so I think the sky's the limit for this young man. And, I'm going to keep with my theme of throwing out like professional players that they mirror. I mean, obviously he's not at this level, but I look at like a Tariq Skubal from Detroit, that if this kid sticks with the game and really works hard, he could have that type of impact on the baseball diamond.
For me, during the game when we were broadcasting, somebody that in my mind, I never said anything, but I compared it to, it's a throwback guy for some of you guys that are over 40, Joe McGrain of the Cardinals. That big strapping lefty and just the way he brings it.
Right.
But, I also wonder, Jeff, if it got to be to that point, could Michigan or would Michigan use him at first base, being a long, lean body type and a lefty?
Right.
Who knows?
Yep.
He could be one of those guys they could bring in relief and then do a switch like Whitey Herzog used to, put him in right field, bring him back in, and then put him back in for the next batter, go righty lefty. That type of situation.
Absolutely.
You guys compared him to two different players. I'm going to compare him to a little different player, not in his build, But the fact that he's a lefty and the fact that he could also play outfield and has a gun out there for an outfield, that's Rick Ankiel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Jeffrey.
The University of Michigan fans are going to be, I guess, robbed, we'll say, of watching this young man play the outfield. As good as he was and is as a pitcher and dominant as a pitcher, and Coach Woody, maybe you can expand on this a little more. His instincts as an outfielder, the jump that he got on each ball, I rarely see at the high school level.
Well, and here's the thing is, they talk about you can't teach speed.
Right.
And they're right. You cannot teach those instincts, Jeff. Either you have them or you don't. And for me, I just hope my TV provider, I get the Big Ten Network.
There you go.
I hope they don't cut him.
Nice.
I've already
Very
made
nice.
notes. I can watch Jackson
Right.
when he plays at Michigan.
Hey, go Maize and Blue. That's all I got to say. Jeff and I are Michigan natives for a little while, and all I got to say is go Maize and Blue there.
Yes, sir. Well, sorry we took a lot of time there, but he's someone deserving of talking about a lot of time. We also have a teammate of his at Festus who is deserving of talking a lot about, and that is the junior Cale Schaumburg. Cale was among the metro area leaders in strikeouts to walk ratio, the 4.63. One of the leaders in the metro in wins with 5 on the year, and he had 2 shutouts on the season. And man, you talk about the arrows in the slings that Coach Montgomery had over there for Festus this year on the mound, fellas.
Getting back to the state quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Schaumburg faced J.D. Dorman, who is going to Mizzou. J.D. and Schaumburg matched up, and I said it. I interviewed J.D. for the podcast, and I said, it's a shame one of you two guys had to walk away on the downside of a victory.
Right. Yep.
Cale matched him pitch for pitch in that game.
Yes, he did.
Now, he pitched into a little bit of tough luck with just some situations, but he got out of it.
Yeah.
But to come away with a 2-0 loss hanging on your hat, that was a shame that it happened to Cale.
Yeah, I told him after that game, I walked up to him and just said, there is nothing to hang your head at. And not to mention just what he's done throughout the whole year this year. Just a tremendous young man. I mean, obviously, you have someone like Jackson Smith that is also on the team that's going to draw a lot of attention in that regard. And he put his name right there, if not equal to what Jackson Smith was able to do this year. And for me, again, sticking with the comparisons, I just look at a Chris Sale. He is that lengthy, tall, he really can sling it. And I think the grit on the baseball diamond, especially on that mound when things didn't go his way and runners got on, he just shut the door. Like there was nothing that fazed him in that game.
And to your point, in that game, you couldn't tell if he was up 9-1,
Right.
losing 9-1, or down 1-0 and then 2-0. You couldn't tell the way he kept bringing it. Kudos to Cale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to love that kind of composure in a pitcher. At least I do, fellas. That's the mentality you have to have on the mound for sure. Well, now we're going to go to a JCAA small school player that has jumped up and made this first team list for us. And that's a name that we're very familiar with here at Livestream STL for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different sports. That's the junior Tanner Duncan from Herculaneum. Tanner struck out 52 guys over 40.2 innings this year, 1.7 whip. He had a .913 fielding percentage as a shortstop playing on grass at Herky, and just a tremendous all-around athlete. And I can't say enough good things about this young man, so I'm gonna let you guys take it from here.
From what year is he, Jeff? Is he a junior? Senior. I can't believe I just saw on the board. I can't believe he's uncommitted.
Is he, or is he a junior? I could be wrong, but
He's a junior, fellas.
Oh,
junior.
okay.
Yeah.
Then I take that back. In my opinion, for whatever it's worth, he kind of stood above everybody else. No offense to anybody on that ball club, but he just, with what he could do, whether it be on the mound, at the plate, or at shortstop. For me, in my eyes, he stood above everybody else with what he brought to the table. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, again, quality young man that really just does a little bit of everything. I mean, I've been able to see him, Jeff, as you mentioned, multi-sport, see him play for a few years, and just, what he brings. He's not this, like, what I would consider, like, flamboyant-esque type of player where he's going to just kind of try and outshine the next person, but he very much puts in the work. He very much tries to give his absolute all every time he's on the field, and I love watching him at shortstop because he reminds me of just some of the great shortstops like Cal Ripken and those that, like, the fundamentals are solid.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he works on those, and then he surprises you because he goes out and makes a play that you just don't expect him to make sometimes, and then he gets up with that smile on his face because he just loves playing the game of baseball.
You get out of it what you put into it, and he does.
That's right. That's right. And I'll say this too. My apologies. I was corrected back here from our intern here, Baylor Pemberton, that he is a junior. So
Okay.
we're in good shape there. For some crazy reason, I thought he was a senior. Anyway, Jordan and Tanner, they're two peas in the pod. They're a few years apart as far as brothers, but being able to cover both of them has been a treat. But it's interesting when you go to interview these guys that both of them interview about the same. They're men of very few words, but hey, all I want to do is get out there and play ball. And there's nothing wrong with that, so great job there. But proud of you, Jordan, and I say Jordan, Tanner, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again next year because I think that will probably come to pass.
Of course.
And two more things I need to say about Tanner real quick, fellas. Number one, regardless of the sport that he played, there were times when he had to put the rest of his team up on his back.
Absolutely.
And he did it, just like his older brother did when he was playing. And these guys never seem to crack under pressure. They welcome that pressure. They thrive on that pressure. And I feel like Tanner's one of the guys that can do that. And also shout out to Tanner because, Ray, when we first started this we started this venture years ago, live stream STL. One of our very first cameramen over at Grandview was a little kid running around. This scrawny little kid that was Jordan Duncan's little baby brother.
That's right. That's right.
His name was Tanner Duncan.
Absolutely.
Well, fellas, we're going to stick with the Black Cats real quick, and we have our first freshman that cracked the top 10 first-teamers here, and that is the tremendous player for Herculaneum, Mr. Carter Iams. It's a shame Herky didn't have a better record this year because they had some great individual talent. Maybe not enough on the mound for them to sustain, but Carter led the Black Cats. He had a 407 batting average, 543 on base percentage, and a 969 slugging percentage as a freshman, gentlemen.
Holy moly. That's all I got to say.
Unbelievable. Well, there again, you talk about talent at a young age. Can he sustain? Why wouldn't he?
Right.
Why wouldn't he? You're just going to get better, with a little age, maybe get a little stronger, get to know the game in high school a little more, adapt yourself, and do it.
Yeah, I mean, again, welcome to the show is kind of what I thought right there. Like, as a freshman, you just break out with this type of performance. You put your name out there, and now teams are going to start to look and game plan a little bit more around you, which then allows you to be that support for your other teams. I mean, we talked about it with Tanner Duncan a little bit, having to step up and carry in moments. Now he's got a partner, and then you also throw in the mix there Jackson LaPlante, and we get to see that for one more year. And my hope is with the emergence here of just the fact that maybe they can get this hot streak and turn things around and really make a deep run next year. And I think he's going to be a tremendous component to this, not only in the field, but also on the mound. And that's really where I'm interested in watching this young man develop, is on the mound. And again, we know that as a freshman, he's still going to develop a little bit. He's going to get stronger. And when you have over 500 on base, that means there's baseball IQ and that you recognize pitches quickly, and he's only going to get better over the next 3 years.
Now, and to his point and to what you said, let's hope when people start maybe pitching around him, trying to avoid him, or if they know he can beat the soup out of a fastball, then they give him nothing but off speed, change ups, just all that stuff. Can he adapt and not start chasing outside the strike zone and getting himself out?
Right.
Because you will cause yourself to plummet if you start doing that. Keep a good mind. Take what they give you.
Yeah, go watch Jackson Merrill, and you'll see a good indication of this young man as well.
Yeah. Big time, just bright spot, I think, for the Black Cats here. Looking forward to some exciting times here. Could be some big players coming here through the Black Cat organization. So, Jeff, who we got next?
Next up, we're heading over to Hillsboro, and we're talking about a guy who's committed to East Central College to play. That is the senior Easton Day. To me, Easton is a warhorse for Hillsboro. That's the best way I can describe him. Among the metro area leaders in complete games with 3, had a 1.49 whip on the season. He batted .298, had a .985 fielding percentage, and just a high baseball IQ, a high work ethic. He wanted the ball. He wanted the ball hit to him in situations. He wanted to be up in situations. And I don't know as a coach how you would ever want anybody but a player like that, guys.
Jeff, do we know is he going to play both ways, or what have they got him earmarked for?
I do not know that. Easton, or if anybody knows Easton is watching this show, they could comment after that on social media for us. We could find out. Maybe our crack intern can find out over there.
Baylor, we're going to put you to work on that.
Contacts. And but it wouldn't surprise me at East Central Division II in JCAA where they might use him in the field as well, Coach.
Hey, you're going to get a gym. Why not put him to work and utilize your tools, what you got? It's going to make you a better team.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you said it, Jeff. DAWG is what this program's getting here. I mean, again, that clutch gene is within him, and that's not just on the offensive side. Like you said, the defense, he hunts out and hopes people hit the ball at him so he can make the play. And it's impressive to me to just watch him and watch what he does. And again, an indication of somebody to look at the major league level that the talent is starting to build would be like a Francisco Lindor. I mean, he has that ability to really change the game in multiple ways.
Who did I have at the game for Festus at Hillsboro? Was it you, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So for him to get the win against Jackson Smith was just something. That was the impressive thing for me. To just stay in toe to toe, pitch to pitch, and do what he needed to do to get the job done.
And not be intimidated by your opponent. Jeff, how many times have we seen, maybe at the high school level, a pitcher A thinking, oh, I'm throwing against pitcher B. This guy's great.
Right.
And now you think you're not worthy of being on the same mound opposing this guy, so maybe you fold your hand a little bit.
Yeah.
That's right. The great players rise to the occasion, Coach.
Exactly.
They rise to that level of competition, and Easton is certainly one of those guys. He does not lack confidence in that regard at all. But speaking of confidence and confidence that I've seen as a freshman, we're going to head over to Jefferson now and talk about another freshman that made the list, Jefferson Blue Jay freshman Jack Klump, and made it as a PO, 38 strikeouts in 34.1 innings pitched, and a 1.573 whip as a freshman, guys. Very poised on the mound, very athletic. You'll see more of him next year on the basketball season as he works his way onto that varsity roster and what he can do. I just so impressed with the mental makeup of this young man on the mound. He's another kid that, even as a freshman, Coach, you never know if he's ahead by 10 or down by 10.
Well, and to his stats, the strikeouts he has and the number of innings that he's pitched tells me Maybe he's not a Bob Gibson or a Nolan Ryan that throws 100 miles an hour.
Right,
But
right.
boy, does he have movement.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that. It's Maddox-esque, Glavin-esque, where he's able to locate even as a freshman and really get people out. And I think the deception of just the mixing of pitches, the changing of speeds, those type of things. Like I look at the Cardinals organization and I see a guy like Michael McGreevy who's just waiting in the wings to take over. And that's what this freshman reminds me of, especially on the mound. And Jeff, you said it, just the poise, even as a freshman. You don't see that often. A lot of times they get rattled in games, and you couldn't tell if this guy was having the best game he's ever pitched or the worst game he's ever pitched because he was just locked in, focused when he stepped on the rubber.
We keep saying it all night here on the show. A freshman, he's only going to get better.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we go from freshman to senior, and our last player to crack the top 10 first team here on our Main Street Sports Baseball Standouts. Gentleman, a senior from Windsor, committed to Southeast Missouri to play this year. So he'll be playing with Coleman in the future from DeSoto, and that is Cole Scott. Very impressed with this young man. You know, you can look at some guys who are seniors, even juniors, and you go, you know, they're ready right now to play at the next level. Cole Scott was one of those guys, in my opinion. He's among the Metro area leaders in 6 home runs. As a pitcher, he was 8th in the entire Metro in strikeout percentage with 10.28 and had 71 strikeouts on the season to be among the Metro area leaders, fellas.
Yeah, I just kept saying, great Scott, every time I saw him. I mean, it was just that. I mean, again, another dual threat. I mean, a tremendous just athlete that really wants to fight, the grit. You can see it on his face. Like, he's got that intimidation factor when he stands on the mound or even out in the field. Like, just the ability to recognize what the opponent wants to do and you still thwart it is always impressive to me. And I just enjoyed watching Cole Scott really play there at Windsor and the opportunities I got to see him. I really wanted to get an interview with him. It just didn't work out the times I was there. But just a fun guy to watch, and I'm really excited to see where he goes and kind of that, you know, fight that he has, that he has that like Craig Kimbrell stare when he's on the mound.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of fun to watch.
Do we have any idea where he plays summer baseball?
No, I don't think so. Jeff?
I don't have that. I can try to get that for us, but
Well,
I'm not sure.
I was just curious if he was playing for one of the local Legion teams.
I
Where
don't think so.
we would get to see him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be fun for
Oh
sure.
man,
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our first team standouts. And I know Jeff wanted to save a little special thing for the end here, but so I'm going to turn it over to you on that. So take it away.
Yeah, I got 2 things real quick because we're talking about Windsor real quick, guys. And I know this is Coach Woody's favorite time of the year because we're into the postseason college baseball.
That's right.
Derek Williams, the former Windsor Owl stud, left fielder, extraordinaire power hitter, another guy that was ready for college probably when he was a sophomore at Windsor. He is advancing in the tournament now with the Miami Hurricanes.
Nice.
And so we'll get to follow his journey along. And I might have to root for Miami for the first time in my life, but I'm willing to do that. But the other thing we had, although because he's not a JCAA school anymore, St. Pius, I wanted to give a special shout out to one of the best players in our area, and that is Brennan Irvin, the senior at St. Pius. Brennan, tremendous player, and among the metro area leaders in slugging percentage, he batted .406 on the season, led the Lancers in most offensive categories, and just a tremendous player. I wanted to give him a shout out because he's not a guy that was eligible for our list, but a guy that certainly amongst his peers in the area that is one of the better players.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
good call.
There you go. Well, we wrap this up right now, and we will be back with our MVPs. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. It's time to take a look at our MVPs here, and our first MVP from the small school division here in the Jefferson County Conference is Tanner Duncan. My friend Tanner, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. Tanner is our MVP here for 2025. I'm just going to throw off here a little bit of your stats here, and the stats are as follows here: 385 average, 506 on base percentage, 508 slugging percentage. You have played infield and pitched. First team Main Street Sports standout here, and because you're a junior, there's no commitment yet, but I foresee there being commitments probably pretty soon here. So, Tanner, my friend, first question for you here. I noticed this. I noticed that, I took a look at your stats last season to this season, quite a bit different and quite more improved. So I just wanted to get your take on your thoughts this season compared to last season.
I definitely felt I took on the role of like leading the team and doing whatever I could to try to get a win. And pitching definitely, my role definitely increased in pitching.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. You feel like from last season to this season, can you tell a difference? Is things starting to come a little easier this particular season around?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Black Hats this season, they had some ups, they had some downs, but you guys have you had some surprised games. I mean, you did win a game in the district tournament as well. So that's huge compared to last season. Give me your take, just as a whole of the Black Hats and your thoughts on the season for the Black Hats.
Oh, we started out real rough and figured it can only get better from there.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, we talked about a little bit about the situation of you not being committed quite yet, but is your plan, because you're a multi-sport kid, what's the plans, and where would you like to go? B, what would you like to play?
Baseball is definitely my number one sport. If I could, I'd be willing to go play anywhere for baseball. Yeah.
Absolutely. You don't have like a favorite place?
No, not really.
No, not really. Tell me a little bit about this season. What maybe one of the best games that you had, and maybe the worst game that you had.
One of the better games that I had, I feel, was Crystal City the second time.
Mm-hmm.
I was, I think, 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, and we ended up winning 2-1.
Yeah, saw that game. We were there. Good game there, and your worst game.
That might have been. That was probably Hancock.
Oh wow,
that was a rough game.
Yeah. What? Anything in particular happened?
I just couldn't find a gap at all. I couldn't hit the ball. It's a rough game.
Tough one.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, taking a look into next season, I know you're wearing the 253 jersey, so I thought that was kind of cool. And I thought it was really cool that we matched here, so that was kind of nice here, but that was not planned. I'd hardly ever wear red, but anyway, going into this summer, you've got 253. You've got, one more season here of football, baseball, basketball, all that fun stuff. What do you want to accomplish from here on out, because you got about a little over a year before you're taking a look into college. But what do you want to accomplish here before you go out of here at Herky?
For all sports or just?
Yeah, just give to me all sports.
I just want to have fun during football, and then for basketball, hoping to score 1,000 this year.
Nice. Where are you at right now?
870 something.
Okay, that's doable.
Yep.
It's very doable.
And then for baseball, just repeated this year. I feel like everything went smooth this year.
Excellent. Well, my friend, I appreciate you, and you are our MVP for the small schools, and congratulations. And I would probably put a little money on it that you might be here again next year. So we'll see. We'll just see. I've been wrong in the past, but Tanner Duncan, so awesome to have you on, and appreciate it. And congratulations on the MVP this year.
Thank you.
That is Tanner Duncan from the Herculaneum Black Cats. It's time to catch up with our large school MVP here for Main Street Sports Standouts. And that is Jackson Smith from the Festus Tigers. Jackson, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Excellent. My friend, let me take a look at what you've got here stats-wise. Pretty impressive here, 9-4. I want to start with the pitching because the pitching is something else here. 9-4 on the season. You kind of was kind of the bell cow this year for Festus here. 9-4 on the season, 2.05 ERA. That's pretty impressive, and I don't care what level of baseball you're in, if it's high school, if it's grade school, if it's whatever, AA, AAA, doesn't matter. That 2.05 ERA is something else. So you also play outfield. You're for our first team Main Street Sports Standout. And before I go to any kind of highlights here, I just want to kind of catch your take this season personally for you as Jackson Smith here. Your thoughts on this season on yourself.
I think I've done a pretty good job, like getting ahead on batters and just letting my defense work behind me. I trust them a lot, and as you can tell with the last game we played, I only ended up with 4 strikeouts, but I got a lot of ground balls and pop ups. So
yeah, I mean, and you guys didn't have a ton of easy games at all either. So I feel like the particular situations that you were in, kind of is a big testament to just being able to grind through games and do what you needed to do to get wins. And like I said, you've got 9-4 there, 13 games that your average high school only gets about 7-8 games in. So like I said, you've done a ton of work this season, and then the season's not done here. So I mean, I know you're looking here at the state quarterfinals here coming up here, and I'm sure you're gonna be pitching one of those games.
yeah. So the first game I will not be available for because of the limit, but we got Kale Schomburg throwing the first game, and then I'll be back for Saturday.
There you go, and we'll be there at both games.
Okay,
so there you go. You get to see us a lot. That'd be great. So, give us just your thoughts this season totally on the Festus Tigers as a whole.
I think we've done a pretty good job. We started off slow with the bats, and we were losing a lot of 1-0 games or 1-run games in general. But towards the end of the season here, we started picking it up, and like those last couple of games, we got like 8, 10, 12 hit games, and I think it's helped us a lot tremendously, and will down the road.
Yeah, and this season for the JCAA, the large schools especially, most of these teams were pretty tight. I mean, everybody was pretty close in, the competitiveness, and you take a look at some of the games here, you're grinding out a 1-0 game or a 3-0 game or this, that, and the other. You win a couple of close ones, you lose a couple of close ones, but for the most part, coming out on top here, winning. I guess you guys were co-champs with Hillsborough this year, but Hillsborough I thought was kind of a surprise this year because last season just kind of down, but Perryville even surprised me, and Windsor as well. So I mean, DeSoto was in there too. It was just one of those things where I felt like it could, if you have a bad game, man, that makes a huge difference in the competition. Your thoughts on the competition this year?
I think it's been pretty good. Like I said, we're a really young team, so like in the next couple of years, I think that'll push us out to be like different from all those other teams. But like we have, I think 3 kids graduating this year, so but overall the competition was really good. A lot of kids in our conference that can throw it really well. So
yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. Last little bit here, we saw that you're going to be going to the University of Michigan.
I am.
How about that? I mean, that is no big deal. I was born in Michigan, and I'll tell you this, Jeff, he's not with us today, but Jeff and I both actually lived very close to the Detroit area. And he grew up there in Michigan. I was born up there. I lived up there for a very short time, came back here and lived here, but big, huge Michigan fans, both of us. So the maize and blue. And so we're pretty excited about that. And I'm sure you're excited. Give us maybe a little bit of the route on how that happened.
So the first game of the season, Jackson, I pitched and we won 3-1, and I got posted on PBR. I'm not sure how he saw it, but I also go to Mach 1 with Andy Marks and like right by like where Vianney is, Big Bend
Okay,
area.
yeah. Mhm.
And after that start, maybe a week or two after, he hit me up on Twitter and was like talking to me and seeing how far, like if I wanted to go far from home or anything. And he said he was going to be down at the Hillsborough game to watch me.
Mhm.
And so he came down there, and I threw pretty good.
Yeah, we were there. I saw that game. Yeah, it was a great one.
Yeah,
Very good.
It was really good. And then he texted me after that. He's like, he wanted me to come up for a visit. And so I went up there, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like everything. I think it's for me.
Yeah.
All the facilities, just everything up there. Great
Good
people.
stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
congratulations on being our MVP this season. You know, and you got another year here. So, I mean, I said the same thing to Tanner earlier. I was like, wouldn't be surprised if I see you again next year as the MVP again, because, you know, Festus being just full of pitching.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I was extremely impressed with this year is just, you know, pitching was going to be hard to beat, and you're going to have to catch these guys, you know, do something that's different that you don't normally do some games. And, you know, that's going to be the only way you might get past these guys, but you guys have been nails, and it's shown throughout the season here and into the playoffs here. And good luck to you this season, the rest of this season. And, you know, we'll see if you can make that trip out there to the state championship there.
Plan.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you being here. And that is Jackson Smith from the Festus Tigers. And we are back. Well, we've finished all of our standouts and our MVPs, and Jeff is going to give us the breakdown here real quick. Jeff, take it away, my friend.
Well, guys, we're going to start with our MVPs real quick. Small school MVP, that was a unanimous choice on the season for Tanner Duncan at the small school level. The large schools was a different story altogether. We had a cutthroat battle in the voting all the way across the board. It was deadlocked for a long time. We finally had a tiebreaker come through. Jackson Smith, as a tremendous a player as he is, won the MVP by one vote over his teammate Brady Nolan. So they almost canceled each other out as far as skill level. Either one very deserving. We don't do co-MVPs here. If we did, and we probably would have had co-MVPs, it probably would have been Brady and Jackson. But, you know, to break it down, guys, both the first and second team levels, there were only 4 unanimous selections overall. So very intense voting, a lot of great players to choose from, a lot of great guys that didn't make the list this year. By class breakdown, we had 7 seniors make the team. We had 8 juniors, and then 2 sophomores and 3 freshmen. So 5 underclassmen coming in and really showing that regardless of age, you can really make an impact for your high school baseball team, fellas.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps things up here as we break all of the things down here for the Main Street Sports Standout Show. Guys, thank you so much for stepping in and giving your input, and Jeff as well. I know get better soon. We hope to see you here sooner than later as we turn our efforts to American Legion Baseball along with some other summer events. But check us out. If you haven't done so, make sure that you check out our livestream STL.TV website and download the app Livestream STL on Roku. Just search on Roku for Ray Halbrook, for Woody Garner, for Brian Kaplinger, and Jeff Whitener. I want to say so long. Thanks again for watching the Main Street Sports Standout Show. Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.